Bristol Community FM 93.2. Your voice, your choice.
He's idealistic, travelling all over the world, and I met him at the Green Gathering in Chepstow back in August. His name is Earthian.
I am Earthian, and I'm the first citizen of the planet Earth trying to circumnavigate the planet Earth without using any money and no passport. This is my 17th country and 11th festival, including Glastonbury. I count Glastonbury as my 16th country because the wall that I've seen over there and the security was higher than any country I have been through.
Really? It's almost like its own country, Glastonbury.
Exactly. That is what I call it. And the reason I managed to get in, because when I got to the site, it's about 8 miles long. So I started my peace pilgrimage in Outer Festival, and between two of the gate, D and C, I met the farmer, Michael Evers. His PA kindly, she introduced me to him, and Michael said to her, if you want to get into the festival, and she said, no, he just wanted to take a photo with you. And I said, Michael, if I can make it to the festival, that will be great, because you, the Peace Garden and the sacred place and the stone circle and all that, located inside the festival, and you've got a 4-meter high wall. How am I going to get in? If you can help me, that will be great. If not, do not worry at all, Michael. The universe will connect me. This is not my first country. This is going to be my 16th country. So he said, keep doing the outer pilgrimage, and we will see what we can do about the inner pilgrimage. So I managed, after 4 days, to get into the festival. And I did my pilgrimage around the inner festival as well. After about 3 days, I saw the farm goes back to normality. They cleared up, the wall were coming down, and the security, which outside they told me, Earthian, you're not going to make it to Australia. You can see the wall. How are you going to get in without any money and no ID and no passport? And you know how difficult it is to get into Glastonbury. I said, not only I will make it to Australia, I can make it to New Zealand as well. So we will see. And then they were surprised. They all came out of their van and they shook my hand. They said, we have never seen a determination man like yourself.
Where are you from?
I was born in Middle East, in a place which is called Kurdistan, and has been divided between 4 or 5 different countries, including Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Armenia. And people over there, as Kurdish people, they say, we want independent state. And I say, no, I want 24th century without state. I want those borders to be open to the world. I want anyone on the planet to come and visit us as a citizen of the planet Earth. Every one of us. And I do not want anyone to come there with any passport, no visa. They are all welcome.
But the thing is, at the moment, you've got states existing all around Kurdistan, and they are all trying to impose their will. So surely the Kurdistan people need some independence.
Okay, that is what you are saying. But if we are going to say we want independent state of Kurdistan, which at the minute in north of Iraq there is a Kurdish region area which is governed by the Kurdish people, it's like an almost German style, like a federalism. And when you enter the actually Iraqis area, they will say that Kurdish visa and all that is not valid, so you have to apply for it, which I met a friend of mine, not a friend, I met him in one of the Kurdish regions town, and he was cycling from Britain as well, and they arrested him, and the judge, because it was from the Kurdish region, they didn't arrest me. They said, well, you've got a proper visa and all that. I said, what proper visa and all that? I want him to be free as well. I do not go anywhere, and I'm just here to help him to cross the borders which you have created for us to go to Iran, and he wants to do round the world pilgrimage as well with bicycle rather than like me walking and people helping me.
So how do you get across the sea?
Right, it took me almost a week from Dover to cross to Calais. Across the sea, obviously I can't swim because it's difficult, you need a lot of backing up, and I just talked to people. Could you kindly, I am Earthian and I'm doing a peace pilgrimage from London to Middle East. If you can kindly help me to cross the channel. If you have got a car, you can carry 5 people. If you are one person, still you can carry 4. And then they were asking me, what are you going to do about the border? I said, I will answer them. Please do not speak on my behalf. If they ask me passport, I will speak to them. And if they said, get off of the car, I will get off and you can carry on. And one nice man from Italy kindly gave me a lift. I was sitting at the back of his 8-seater, and I remember when I was sitting with all my rucksack and all that, they asked them, passport please, and I didn't say anything. They gave their passport, and I looked at them, they didn't look at me, and here we go. I crossed my first official border without any passport.
So you were heading from London to the Middle East. Why are you actually back here now?
That is correct. Part of my journey why I end up here in Green Gathering is at the minute I am doing around the UK festivals peace pilgrimage, and I don't know, I think I've mentioned this is my 11th festival to go around to tell people why my peace pilgrimage aborted in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I got up to Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and I was planning to go, according to my boat, to cross the Gulf state and then India, cross to Australia, back to Canada, Greenland, Iceland and the UK. That was my round the world, and Saudis, they aborted my journey because after 10 days camping in no man's land, they saw me, actually from the border, the police guard and all that, they saw me, I can survive, I can talk to people, and until I find a way I can cross this land. And what's happened, they said, well, you can't cross this land. I said, why? They said, this is a land of God and God has given it to us. And I told them, may I see the deed, please? They said, who you are that you are asking us for the deed of this land that God has given it to us? I said, well, who you are that you are asking me? I cannot walk through this land. This land, as much as it belongs to you, is belong to me as well, because I am Earthian. I am the first citizen of the planet Earth to say every place on the planet is my hometown as well as my birthplace as well. So I think they didn't like that. And also I said, because all you are doing, you are making plenty of money out of somewhere called House of God, and also plenty of oil reserve underneath this land, which is a resources of the whole humanity on the planet, and you can't rock and roll with it. And they didn't like that. After 10 days, they raided my shelter, and they took everything I had, so I couldn't carry on or replan my journey. And because I saw the way that everything taken from me, I said, well, if that easily they have taken everything that I had, they might take my life as well. So I actually scared for my life, and next day they came, they said, we are taking you back to Jordan because you haven't got anything to cross. I said, well, wherever I am going, it's going to be greater place than this hell that I have been.
So why didn't you just go round Saudi Arabia and carry on?
Okay, I didn't go around and carry on because my home, which is my tent, my clothing, everything that I had was taken. So how am I going to carry? So I came back bare, nothing with me. So every places that I have gone, and they have told me things like that, you can't cross this land and all that, I said, that's fine, I will find next way to go. But because they took everything I had, I couldn't do what you have just told me.
Now, what about other countries in the Middle East? Did you find that they were a bit more sympathetic than the Saudis?
Israelis, they didn't let me to get in as well. They stripped me all the way down apart from my short. And about 10 people, they were working on about 2 hours to see whether what I have got and why I'm doing this peace pilgrimage. And I do not belong to any organization and no government has sent me. I have just done it from out of my heart, and they wanted to find out what I have been doing for the last 40 odd years of my life. They wanted to know everything. I said, all you have to know is I am Earthian and I'm the citizen of the planet Earth, and I want to do a peace pilgrimage around the planet without any hassle of passport and all that identification and visas. They didn't like it. So they said, we will take you back to Jordan. I said, no problem, but I will be back. So I told Saudis and Israelis, I will be back and I want to visit this land as a peace pilgrim. So apart from those 2 places, every countries that I've been through, they have welcomed me.
once you've finished going around the festivals here in Britain, is the idea to set off again on your mission?
Absolutely. If you can be kind enough to tell your audience that I've got a weblog called earthianblog.wordpress.com, or they can send a friendship to my Facebook, earthiankvn@gmail.com, and they can follow me. After my Green Gathering Festival, I have got a few other festivals to attend, and then hopefully next year I'm setting off to go the other way to complete my journey. The main reason I'm doing this peace pilgrimage is because I am advocating at the top of my peace pilgrimage to say all the wars, including the one which is right now going on in Syria, in Palestine, in Africa, in Far East Asia, and across the world, to stop immediately. What we need right now is peace, harmonious love, and non-violence with all humanities. What is going on right now in Syria as a major war, which has gone on for more than 2 years now, is a conflict not between people over there, between major weapon companies across the Eastern world and Western world, which is Eastern world, Russia, China, Iran, and Western world, America and Britain and the rest of the European countries. So the weapon companies over there, they are feeding Assad and the rebels, and that is what is going on. People over there, they don't want war. Lovely places, historical places, is being damaged with the name of, I don't know, conflict between people, which I don't agree. And I want that war to stop immediately. And also, on my peace pilgrimage, I'm advocating abolitions of all artificially created border, including one which is my birthplace, and across the world, abolitions of weapons of mass destruction and chemical weapons, which Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan is a victim of nuclear weapons, and Halabja, a little town of Kurdish town, is a victim of chemical weapon which was used by Saddam Hussein and was given by the European and American, those weapons, and is used against those people over there. I want all those weapons to be get rid of in a way that is not harming the environment, and also abolitions of death penalty, which I am advocating to say we should follow the example of Britain or UK, as they have abolished the death penalty since 1960s, and the rest of the world, they should follow as well as an example. And
one problem, though, is that if you want to abolish all these borders and abolish all these various governments controlling these borders, you're going to end up with just the big corporations and the banks being the government, controlling everything.
Well, I'm not sure what
the rich, the elite, will just take over. If there aren't national governments, there aren't elections.
No, it's not. That is not right. I mean, that is our mistake. We say, well, if the rest of the world, they were thinking as community together, not as we are Britain, we can't interfere with Syria, we are American, we can't interfere with internal what is going on in Syria. If we were all part of each other, we could say our brothers and sisters are dying every day. Imagine what happened in London, in Lewisham, yeah? How we felt. We felt badly about what is going on in the street of Lewisham, yeah? Why this is happening. So imagine if Damesh or if Syria was another little place on a planet that we are caring about, we wouldn't let that to go on. So clearly it's not going to be cooperation will rock and roll and we will say nothing. No, we can coexist with each other and side by side and have a harmonious and love and peacing world together.
And what is going to happen to all these big corporations, these weapon companies, banks? They're not going to just disappear, are they?
Okay, I didn't mention one of my major advocacy throughout my journey, which is I am advocating a resource-based economy, not a monetary-based economy. That's why I don't carry money with me. To say monetary-based economy, we have seen everything is round up by profit, by consuming in order to companies to make profit. But if we manage our resources, we do not have to worry about money and all that. money is piece of paper, which many governments, they produce it. If we run out of resources, money, we can't eat it. So we have to manage our resources to go forward rather than managing our money.
Just remind us of your name and your blog where people can see what you're up to.
As I said, my peace pilgrimage name is Earthian, and please read my weblog, earthianblog.wordpress.com, and also my email is earthiankvn@gmail.com. You can send your friendship to my Facebook as well, and you can read all about my stories from the beginning, which was started on 23rd of October. In October is going to be a year, and I have allocated to my journey 8 to 10 years of my life towards peace and love and non-violence across the world. Thank you for giving me this time and opportunity to speak to the people of Bristol's radio and the rest of the world, if you can broadcast it online.
So that was Earthian, and just to remind you about where to find him online, Facebook, he is at Earthian KVN, that is EARTHIAN for Earthian, and then the letters KVN, you'll find him there, and his blog is Earthian blog, EARTHIAN blog.wordpress.com. That's earthianblog.wordpress.com to find out what he's been up to most recently. And I see he's been picking fruit in Kent down at Paddock Wood, at least within the last few weeks, and putting his tent up for the 200th time.
Bristol Community FM 93.2.